first car was a Mazda 6. She was not your ordinary passenger vehicle. You will see this type of car riding around your little old town once like every 20 some days. You occasionally see this shit on Facebook Marketplace if you're looking to buy a car or something. So when I bought my car, I bought it from my auntie. She did not know how much miles it had on it. We was in this abandoned repair shop. The man who owns the motherfucker was there. And the man was gonna let her get the car out, but she didn't have enough money to get the Mazda out. So she decided to sell it to me for $2,000. Still to this day, I don't know why this motherfucker was at that abandoned repair shop. It has been sitting for a very, very, very long time. Every other car there was so old and decayed. There was a few cars with keys in the ignition. Girl, we crunked them cars up and anybody could have just drove off in them cars. I thought there was a 2016 Chevrolet Malibu there. Like, girl, that was an abandoned, I don't know, there's something not right about this whole situation. But yeah, when I was about to pay this woman $2,000 for this Mazda, he's my auntie again. So we met up there. The money flew out of my hand. We fucking gathered up and picked the money. The wind was blowing. It was finna fucking rain. Signed the title, drove to the courthouse and all that other stuff. Posted this little picture after I got. So I went to the courthouse with the woman. I was with my sister. She was nervous. Something about her demeanor. Mind you, this is my auntie. I don't really know her. She's a distant family member. When I found out the car had over 200,000 miles, there was nothing I can do. I was like, you know what? It's a Mazda and I like Mazdas. She said the car was fine because it was in that little abandoned repair shop because it would not crank up. That's all she said. And she nervously said, oh yeah, the car is as is. And she walked out. That was the last time I have ever seen my auntie. She took that $2,000 child. But anyways, I went through my day with my car. The battery ended up dying again, so we went to Walmart and I got a new battery for my car. Everything was good. I sat in my car at nighttime and looked at the cute little red speedometer because it was so pretty. I never really seen a car with like a red speedometer. I was like, oh my god, this is nice. And I took this little picture here of it. But fast forward, things started happening. I noticed more and more when I was starting to drive this car after buying it. Something was not right. I started realizing, why is there a yellow light that says AT? And why does it never go past 3? Why is it always 1, 2, 3? Why is my RPMs at 4? You can probably guess what's going on here. Especially at 55 miles per hour. I was on the way to work this day and it hit me. My car is stuck in 3rd gear. The transmission is not engaging. The transmission is stuck. I called my mama and my stepdaddy that came to look at my car. The transmission is not going to be on the top of the engine. The transmission is connected to the engine. Anyways, I just ignored that and forgot about that. Went and bought me some stuff for the car. Bought me some hubcaps, some seat covers. I bought some bucket seat covers. I wanted to feel like a little sports car, you know, vroom bitch. So I kept on driving the car. I drove for about another 1,000 miles. My car was stuck in 3rd gear. I got very used to it. So I decided to go to AutoZone. I was so scared to go to AutoZone and get a diagnostic ran on my car. But I decided, you know what? I was tired of looking at this AT light. I looked under my hood. I looked at my engine. I seen a little bit of oil around the spark plugs. I was not thinking nothing of it. This car is old. It burns oil. I was starting to learn about how engines and cars work because as a gay man, I know a lot about cars. And I was like, let me take this bitch to AutoZone. Did the diagnostic. Catalytic converter is messed up. The shift solenoid A is stuck off in my transmission. The EGR valve is fucked up. And the transmission gear number 4 has an incorrect ratio. What the fuck? I went to the shop. I went to the shop with my mama because I didn't know what to do about this shit. I was broke. In Mississippi, girl, we was making $8 and $9 an hour. I was not making no type of money to get no motherfucking car fixed. It would take me 6 months to save about $1,500 for anything. And a transmission fix, baby, you looking at $1,000 for a fucking flush, filter removal, and the replacement on the transmission. And by getting a shift solenoid replaced, you might as well forget about that shit. But I was at this shop, told me that a vacuum hose was disconnected. They plugged the vacuum hose in and resetted my battery. Doing that, the car was shifting throughout every gear. I drove this car for 2 months, thinking my transmission was good. That the vacuum hose caused the car to go into a limp mode. No, did not think. The vacuum hose is very important. Yeah, the car was shifting. It was doing good. I had work very early in this morning. I don't really remember this shit. But I drove to work this morning. I was like, girl, let me hit the highway. Remind you, the car shows what gear it's in. The whole time we having this car, it always shifted extremely hard into second gear. I would have to hold and let go of the gas pedal when it shifts into second when it's on a cold start. When the car is warm, it shifts smoothly. But I was like, it was shifting hard into second, but it was shifting like it was slow. The car shifted so slow into second gear, but it wasn't a hard shift. Then it said third gear, then it said fourth gear, but the car was still in second gear. What the fuck? My car skipped 3 whole gears while the gear ratio and the gear number is still displaying, and I was getting so scared. I drove to work, and guess what happened? The infamous yellow automatic transmission yellow warning light then came back on. I was so mad at work. I think I called a customer a bitch that day because I was just so pissed off. I thought that my car was good. I thought it was a simple glitch in the computer that made the car go into limp mode. No, was I wrong. But on the bright side, this only happened during the morning times or when it was cold outside. I looked up some research. I did some research. I ordered me a OB2 diagnostic scanner. Still have it to this day. Every time my car got stuck in third gear, it would do this every time the computer does not shift properly into the second gear. I cleared the codes, turned off the check engine light. My car is shifting perfectly. I would have to do this every morning. I ended up becoming friends with a group of black women. We drove a lot. We had a lot of fun experiences, even though they was fake. Child, I ain't gonna get into that. We drove a lot. We went out to eat. We started going through a lot of drive-throughs. We started like pranking the drive-through workers and stuff like late at night and stuff. I had a good time in my goddamn car. The car was still going into limp mode on and off during the morning times and during the night times when it was cold outside. Until something happened. I ended up wrecking my car in the back. My friends, they was, taking pictures of me while driving. But my car started to act very weird. I would notice when I'm going on the highway that my car will like pause a little bit. Like it's all in the right gear. It feels like the car is being pushed backwards. The man in front of me, he was driving so slow. I overtook him. I got in the other lane and I hit that gas. Girl, I was 180, it was 180, 185, and then my RPM just started bouncing up and down. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? My RPM started bouncing and I was like, damn, that's weird. Once I got in front of him, we drove to where we was going. We drove to these apartments. We was dropping the friend off, I believe. Why did my car stall and cut off? I was like, there is no way. I am in the middle of a different town. My car has never cut off. It has never stalled. The oil pan light and the alternator light came on. I immediately flew my ass back to the motherfucking city and I went to AutoZone. They tested my alternator. They said the alternator was bad. And I believe that bullshit ass lie. I kept on driving it. I noticed when my car gets low on gas, the car would stall and cut off. I can be in the drive-thru, car can be idle, can be sitting, the car would just cut off. And it would struggle to crank back up. But I had to hit the gas to crank it back up. It was very embarrassing. It lasted for about 2 months while I was doing that. My AC stopped working. Because I got it actually fixed. I just put some refrigerant in it, but I tried to change the filter, did not work. AC was shot. I was at AutoZone every day looking for fuel additives to put in my gas tank. Why is my car cutting off when it goes low on gas? I kept on adding so much of them goddamn fuel additives. I was driving to work. Gas was leaking everywhere. Why the fuck was there gas leaking under my car? Still do not know why. When I parked in a spot like this, the car just cuts off and would not crank back up. And I was like, you know what? I'm already at work. I'm gonna leave the car parked fucked up like this. When I got home from work, when I got off work, crank the car back up, it cranks up. Sometimes it clicks when I try to crank it up, and it eventually cranks back up. I was like, that could be my alternator going out, but I forgot that cars have starter motors in them too.
Oh my god, my gas tank went down so fast. Look how fast I got. Look at this shit was at halfway. When we cranked up, halfway.
Oh my
gas out of drain.
babe.
Look how much gas my.
This has become the biggest headache of my life. Something was not right with this motherfucking pipe system in this car. My car was making a growling sound. Like one of these hoses was disconnected, but I could not for the life of me find a hose that was disconnected. I took it to so much shops. They talking about they had to take off, remove, and replace the intake and replace the hoses under that. Trying to charge me with that. Bitch, I don't got it. I kept on driving like that for a minute. Today was a bright and early Sunday or something like that. I was going to hang out with my homegirl. We was in the hood. I was in the hood by myself because I haven't picked her up yet. I made it to this stop sign because every time I stopped at a stop sign, the car cuts off. Just crank it right back up. Mind you, my transmission has not been fucking with me for months after this. Transmission been good. Car cut off at the stop sign. I tried to crank it back up. Nothing. Wasn't doing a single click or nothing. I was like, girl, what the fuck? I kept on doing it. It was just ring. Like you didn't hear the motor. You just heard something spinning and trying to connect, but nothing was connecting. So I thought of that little flywheel disc that spins the starter is not engaging. Anyways, I went through so much hell to get that bitch towed back home. I spent my last $100 to get it towed back home. If it wasn't for me saying, you know what, I'm not gonna eat nothing this morning. I'm not gonna go get me some food. If I would have got me some food that morning, I would have had my car stranded. But I spent my last $100. I got it towed back home. I ended up buying a whole new starter for hundreds of dollars. I had my stepdaddy put it on there. Guess what happened when he put the starter on there? Car was still wasn't cranking up. I went back to the shop. I ended up towing it to the shop because the car was sitting for about 2 weeks. Got it towed to the shop. Guess what happened? My stepdaddy did not screw the starter in all the way, and they got that bitch to crank back up. Now I was fucked up. At the shop, when they gave me my car back, they fixed my starter for free. Well, they just screwed it back in. My car kept on dying every time I cranked it up. No matter how much I tried to give it gas, I was stuck in the parking lot of the shop for 45 minutes trying to get it out, including it was on the highway. If I would have pulled out on that highway, I would have been dead. The car would cut off while I'm trying to accelerate. The only thing I had to do was hit the gas. Or I'm talking about hit the gas. I did that. I took off. And guess what happened? Since the car been sitting for 2 whole weeks, my transmission was cold. The fluid was probably all just laid on the bottom of the transmission pan. It shifted so hard into second gear, I didn't give a fuck. I managed to get that bitch right back to the house. I did my research. I unplugged the mass airflow sensor. The car was running without the mass airflow sensor. It ran forever since I got rid of it. My car had about 230,000 miles on it at this time. I put about 9,000 miles on the car since I bought it, or 8,000. RPMs is revving up to 2,000 because the intake was so fucked up. Transmission was not bothering me. I did notice it was shifting hard into reverse. Kept on driving and I was still going. I was still doing my sneaky links. I was still driving to different cities by my damn self in this raggedy ass fucking car. Damn. And whoop-de-doo. My brake booster and the brake fluid lines busted, so the car has no brakes. I was devastated. I fell out with my homegirls. My brother texted me, told me I can come to North Carolina. I said fuck it in this car too. And ever since then, my car remains sitting there and I live in North Carolina.